been a pretty foggy morning, which is maybe fitting because today we're going to go check out another cemetery. Today we're going to go up to Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. All right, we're heading uptown today. Let's go. Off the subway, Woodlawn Station. I think parts of Van Cortlandt Park are on that side of the street, and then we walked off facing Woodlawn Cemetery right here. Here we go. Hey, look, bathrooms. This is our second visit to a cemetery. I went to Greenwood Cemetery earlier this year. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. This is another famous New York cemetery. Lots of famous people here. We're gonna find as many as we can. So this is one of the largest cemeteries in New York City, and it opened during the Civil War in 1863. It covers more than 400 acres, and it has memorials designed by some famous people like McKim, Mead and White, Carrera and Hastings, John Russell Pope, Cass Gilbert, John LaForge, among others. Right off, that's the Woolworth Chapel, and I've seen some people walking in. Looks like there might be an actual funeral there right now. First up here of our notable people is the burial site of James Cash Penney. You may know him from his stores, J.C. Penney. He was an American businessman and entrepreneur and founded those stores in 1902. I need to remember early on a lesson that I learned at Greenwood. You kind of want to stroll around these places, but I need to kind of book it. Big cemetery, in order to get to all the corners, I got to kind of move. This is the gravesite of Frank W. Woolworth, the founder of F.W. Woolworth Company, or Woolworth's Five and Dimes. He pioneered the idea of buying directly from manufacturers and then fixing the selling prices on items rather than haggling. He was also the first to use self-service display cases so that customers could examine the merchandise they want to buy without asking the help of a sales clerk. We take it for granted now. Dropped all these pins on my map where the people that I want to see are allegedly buried. I'm just trying to walk around and find the pins. Next person's a big name, and there's a big mausoleum up here. I'm gonna assume that's it. Fake me out. That's not who I was looking for. Let's keep looking. There he is. This is George Westinghouse. He was an inventor, engineer, and entrepreneurial industrialist. Best known for his first big invention was the railroad air brakes, which created much safer railroad travel. Also well known for pioneering alternating current electrical systems in competition with the direct current electrical systems that Thomas Edison was convinced were the right way to go. He worked together with a guy named Nikola Tesla to create those alternating current systems. During his lifetime, he received 360 patents and established 61 companies, many of which are still in business. Next one might be tough to find. She's important, but she wasn't rich, so she's in here somewhere. I see it. So this is Nellie Bly. She was an American journalist, well known for her trip around the world in 72 days to emulate the trip of Phineas Fogg in the Jules Verne classic Around the World in 80 Days. She's also famous for her expose on the treatment of patients at mental institutions. And the way she wrote that was by having herself committed to a mental institution to get on the inside. She pioneered her field and launched a new kind of investigative journalism. This is cool. People have left pens at her grave. Nice. Moving on. Who's next? I don't remember what the other prices were, but to buy a plot of land to put a mausoleum on it is like $1.5 million, I think. If that's even still true. Those might be old figures. Well, the weather's holding out. It's really overcast, but it's not raining. It's been raining all week. This section looks a little bit newer. Next up is Fiorello La Guardia, famous mayor of New York. He was a socialist Republican who campaigned for the Democrat Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1933. It helped Roosevelt win and also helped him win mayor. As mayor during the Great Depression and World War II, LaGuardia helped to unify the city's transit system, expanded the construction of public housing, playgrounds, and parks, reorganized the New York Police Department, and implemented federal New Deal programs within the city. He helped to curb the political power of Tammany Hall and reestablished a merit-based employment and promotion within the city government. He's a pretty big deal in New York. There's Miles Davis, American jazz trumpeter, band leader, composer. He's one of the most influential and acclaimed figures in the history of jazz and 20th century music. The tomb of Samuel Untermyer and family. He was initially a corporate lawyer, but later became a trust buster. This is a large plot. Irving Berlin is right here. He's a Russian-born American composer and songwriter, and his music forms a large part of what's become known as the Great American Songbook. Many songs became popular anthems. Alexander's Ragtime Band, Blue Skies, Easter Parade, Putting on the Ritz, Cheek to Cheek, Happy Holidays, White Christmas, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better, There's No Business Like Show Business. The list goes on. It's quite a catalog. This is Ida and Isidor Strauss. This thing's like the size of a small home. Isidor Strauss is a Bavarian-born American immigrant, businessman, politician, and co-owner of Macy's. He and his brother purchased Macy's from the Macy's family after the main Macy's people had died. Ida and Isidor Strauss died on the Titanic. This is labeled on the map as Anna Bliss, and I think it's also a Titanic memorial, but I didn't find much other information about it. It is right across from the Strausses, though. like drizzled a little bit for a little while. Kind of heard thunder off in the distance. I'm moving pretty quickly at this point. I'm really hoping that I can get all this in before anything like rain happens. Like I said, I've got dots on the map and some of them aren't labeled, so I'm just heading toward a dot and then I get there and like, oh, that's who that was. It's Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She's an American writer and activist and a leader of the women's rights movement in the United States. She was a main force behind the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention, at which they wrote the Declaration of Sentiments, and a strong proponent of the right for women to vote, which is why some people have left I voted stickers here. It's pretty cool. She was also active in other social reform activities, especially abolition. All right, let's keep going. This is where Joseph Pulitzer is, Hungarian-American politician and writer, newspaper publisher. Locally, he owned the New York World and famously competed with William Randolph Hearst's New York Journal. That competition led to a new type of journalism known as yellow journalism, which won over readers with sensationalism, stories about sex and crime, and graphic horrors. He's also well known for the Pulitzer Prize, which was established in 1917. That was a result of a specific endowment to Columbia University. This is Herman Melville, American novelist, short story writer, and poet of the American Renaissance period. Probably most famously known for his novel, Moby Dick. Someone even left a whale. And more pens for writers, more pens. And it's starting to drizzle. Not enough to pull out the raincoat yet. Hopefully it won't get too bad. This is David Farragut. He was a flag officer in the United States Navy during the Civil War. And he was the first Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, and Admiral in the United States Navy. Cool. They're right in front of the one I was going to go to. And it's another one of those dots on the map that doesn't have a label. So I don't know who's over there that I wanted to see, but I'm disappointed that I can't see whoever it is. All right, we got a couple more. Let's keep going. I've been pretty efficient so far with lining things up. The last few are kind of off in random directions. So now I'm having to move pretty quickly to hit them all. It's drizzling pretty nicely now. Keep going. There's a nice little lake over here. There are very few bodies of water in this cemetery. In fact, this might be the only one. Next one's in there somewhere. Doesn't say much, but that's Thomas Nast, German-born American cartoonist, caricaturist, and editorial cartoonist, also known as the father of the American cartoon. He was a big critic of Boss Tweed, and his cartoons helped to bring down the Tweed ring and the corruption of Tammany Hall. He also created the modern image of Santa Claus that we all know now, and the political symbol for the Republican Party, the elephant. That was all him. Take a look sometime out there. There are lots of Thomas Nast cartoons around. I've made an executive decision. I'm gonna skip the last place I was gonna go look. But the last person was supposed to be our friend and nemesis, Robert Moses. And he's in a mausoleum that's up in that corner. But the entry's right there, and it's raining pretty nicely now, so I think I'm gonna call it quits. All right, so my wet review of this cemetery, I like it a lot. It has a lot of really impressive monuments. There's something really nice about the rolling landscape at Greenwood Cemetery, but this is also incredibly peaceful and beautiful. They're both great. You should come and walk around both of them. Give yourself more time though. For now, let's get out of the rain and head back to the subway. It would appear that I just missed a train. That's all right. I'm back up to the east side, and it's raining. Another nice adventure, beautiful cemetery. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the other episodes already available up to the east side on YouTube. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends, and look for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.